Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Sophie Milk ñu ngi fété juróom benn ati cafka bu dul dañ ñoo leen indil Jalika full cream milk powder neex saf sàpp te bari cafka pour di leen jërëjëfati si ni ngeen defee Sophie Milk seen favorite milk brand léegi mun ngeen a jëfandikoo empty Jalika milk sachets wala carton pour gagner ay xéewal yu riche pour gagner motorbike dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty carton yi Jalika milk pour gagner yeneen xéewal yu mel ni PlayStation 4 TV fridge freezer, gas cooker, bicycle wala mobile phone. dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty Jalika milk sachets def leen si biir enveloppe binda si sa tur ak sa téléphone number. mun ngeen ko yóbbu si bépp Jalika milk agent bu leen gën a jege. pour xam bi si raful yi dem leen Jalika milk Facebook page. Jalika milk mooy meew bu ees bu leen so fi indil gën a neex saf sàpp te riche.
South Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
It's a warm good evening here in our studios in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Maimuna Fadera. First, the headlines tonight. The Gambia government signed several agreements with Guinea during President Barrow's visit. Handing over ceremony of 50 tractors and implements from Japan. Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment empowers female automotive service providers. Organization of Peace and Humanitarian Assistance holds press briefing. In other news, Mali military leader sworn in as interim president. Thailand begins mass vaccination rollout. Harris message to migrants: do not come, do not come. Well, those were the headlines. So now the news in detail. During President Adama Barrow's 3-day state visit, the Gambia government signed numerous agreements with the Republic of Guinea. These engagements mark the beginning of stronger diplomatic ties between the two states. Khadija Danso files in this report.
The agreement signed by ministers and government representatives from both countries included the formation of a joint commission, diplomatic and political consolidations between two foreign affairs ministries, tourism cooperation between two tourism ministers, trade, fisheries, and higher education, as well as scientific research and technology. As part of the visit, President Barrow toured the Gambia River Basin Development Organization projects at the Kilita and Suapiti dams to monitor the progress of the ongoing works. As the current chairperson of the OMVG Conference of Head of State, the Gambian leader described the project as a shared commitment to the effective management of common resources and available means to addressing the region's power shortfall. He highlighted that the initiative will have a positive impact on people's lives and livelihood with the creation of tremendous opportunities. President Barrow also urged the project member countries, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, Senegal, and the Gambia to redouble their commitment before praising Guinea's excellent leadership in achieving the project's objectives. He thanked the OMVG High Commissioner and his team who recently briefed him in Banjul on the implementation status of the project for their dedication and hard work. During a banquet in his honor, President Barrow was awarded the highest national order of Guinea by his Guinean counterpart, His Excellency Professor Alpha Condé. The president was organized in the citation for his contribution to the consolidation of friendship and cooperation between the two countries. In his address, President Barrow thanked President Alpha Condé for the hospitality showed to him and his entire delegation. President Barrow expressed gratitude and honor to his counterpart for the bestowing him with such a prestigious award. He further added that his visit was an opportunity to also commemorate and reaffirm the unbreakable links of friendship and goodwill, as well as the cultural link that tied the two countries and peoples together. The visit is the result of decades of trusted partnership which continues to strengthen our cooperation on various fronts, he stated. President Barrow acknowledged the profound historical and cultural ties of the two countries, calling for a reaffirmation of shared values and the concerted development of the countries, sub-region, and the continent as a whole. The president's visit came to a close with his customary meeting with Gambians on state visit. The Gambian population in Guinea greeted him warmly and praised the Barrow government's development initiatives in the Gambia. The Gambian community appealed to the president to provide them with assistance, given that the pandemic has an impact on their livelihoods. In response, the president stated that his government will consider their situation and see what might be done. He urged them to be good Gambian ambassadors by staying away from criminal activities and focusing on their businesses. The president also called on the Gambian community to support his government's development goals. The tourism Minister Honorable Hamad Bah spoke on the pandemic's global effects as well as the Gambia government's attempts to assist citizens and institutions affected by COVID-19. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Khadija Tudanso.
His Excellency President Adama Barrow recently presided over the official handing over of 50 tractors and other farming implements donated by the Japanese ambassador at a ceremony held at the Newsroom football field. Khadija Tudanso has more.
The launching of the tractors, accessories, and spare parts donated by the Japanese government to underprivileged Gambian farmers is meant to uplift the agricultural sector of the country. It was attended by government agencies and local government authorities and a cross-community of the local community. President Adama Barrow expressed his profound gratitude to the government of Japan in supporting the agricultural development of the Gambia.
As we affirm his government's commitment to supporting our agricultural development agenda. The handing over ceremony of these much needed agricultural vehicles and equipment is quite timely, noting that our agriculture sector has embarked upon a transformation program for modernizing and mechanizing crop and livestock production and processing. This is exclusively captured in the National Development Plan and reflected in the second generation Gambia National Agriculture Investment Plan, food and nutrition security.
He urged stakeholders to work hand in gloves in promoting agricultural development.
I entreat all stakeholders to work together amicably for the successful implementation of these initiatives. In fact, this applies to all development projects and programs because government projects are for the people. They should be safeguarded by the citizens themselves. I thank everyone present for attending this ceremony, and I commend the agriculture sector personnel for their laudable efforts. My government will continue to give the sector the focus and investments it deserves.
The Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Ami Fabre, said the donated items will help to increase production and productivity of crop value chain, improve food security, increase income, promote more farmers and youth employment in the agricultural sector.
The rest will be given to a youth entrepreneur and potential master farmers residing within the village. He or she must be willing to provide services to the communities and maintain regular maintenance of the machine. The individual may or may not be a member of the group, but must be a member of the village. He or she can be the operator or can identify an operator who will be trained by the experts.
She thanked the President for his relentless efforts in contributing to the agricultural sector and ensured that the tractors will be of great significance as it will not only reach the targeted beneficiaries but will also reflect into improving their crop production and enhance their livelihood. The private sector representative delivered vote of thanks.
The tractors will go a long way in helping Gambia achieve the most needed food security and economic empowerment for the poor. I would also like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to Honorable C.D. Cater of Trade and his project team for their initiative this year. The $3 million interest-free loan to the farmers for plowing services has gone a long way in helping us meet the targets.
Reporting for Star TV News, I am Khadija Tudanso.
The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment through its Entrepreneurship and Private Sector Development Project of the UNDP has empowered female automotive service providers with procurement of tools such as safety boots, gasoline pressure washer, rain suit, angle grinder and many other tools on Friday at the Makati Square in Banjul. Well, Awasani tells us more.
This initiative is geared towards promoting young women's participation in national development and toward boosting the potentials of women working in what is called the male-dominating field to make sure they are given the chance to showcase their talent, skill, and ability. Mrs. Yawa Juf, UNDP representative, stressed that this initiative gave her a sense of hope and an overwhelming to see young Gambian women engaging in all fields, especially male-dominated fields, knowing the difficulties faced by women and girls in the Gambia to break through some of the male-dominated sectors.
It was a privilege for UNDP to support this very important initiative, realizing the potential of the impact of such an initiative. The current global pandemic has taught us many things, and one of those is the need to evolve and change. Although change is often seen as a challenge, it is a necessity if we want to build resilience in order to thrive. This initiative here is a prime example of a group of young women who have embraced difference, who have welcomed change, and who have great potential to contribute to change in mindsets, to improve their skills and income, so to raise the standards of living of their families and their communities.
She said through the UNDP Accelerator Lab, they will continue to find innovative ways of connecting with young entrepreneurs through various networks and forming strategic partnership with them. Board member of female automotive service provider Fatu Senghor Tamajan says automotive has been a male-dominated field simply because of the negative perception it carries, but was quick to add that such initiatives have been breaking the social and traditional norm, creating new waves.
As a woman in the entrepreneurship sector, I would seize this opportunity to encourage our women and girls to opt for STEM courses in order to break the social norms limiting women to certain jobs as well as their participation in national development. As a board member, I can proudly inform you that we have big plan in the pipeline to ensure that this venture is successful and replicated in all the regions, to economically empower our women and give them jobs, security and necessary skills to compete in the job market.
She continues that this launching is a timely opportunity for people to network, discover sources of funding, share experience and build new partnerships to enhance capacities in automotive and entrepreneurship. These experiences will help in addressing some of the challenges faced by women in business, particularly in the technology sector, and urges everyone to support them. Mrs. Nene, a representative of Women, Gender and Social Welfare, had this to say.
Encouraging everybody to encourage and push these young people to excel more to higher heights. It's a sample, it's a model for the young ones coming. Our young people hardly go into the sciences, but now we are seeing young ladies going into the construction field, the automotive field, and even more into engineering. I think that's a plus for all of us. But let this just be the beginning of a long route for you people. Don't relent. Continue building your capacities to excel more. We are seeing big automotive industries, and we feel that one day we'll have our young girls or our young women taking over.
Reporting for Star TV News, I am Awasani.
The Organization of Peace and Humanitarian Assistance held a press briefing meant to engage its stakeholders on current issues that are hindering lives and livelihood at the Westfield Youth Monument. Adama Jangjala witnessed the briefing.
The advent of the COVID-19 pandemic has posted its crippling effects on the lives and livelihoods of Gambians, triggering the Organization of Peace and Humanitarian Aid to engage stakeholders in finding relevant solutions in addressing issues like price hike on house rent, transportation, and other basic commodities. During his opening statement, the founder of the organization and Chief Executive Officer, James F. Mendy, dilated on the inflation of prices affecting the local communities, whilst urging the government to look into the welfare of the people in the local communities.
So this is why we identified the areas and come up with an initiative to engage stakeholders in the areas of transport, business. When you talk of business, that's our markets, that is regarding the hiking price of basic commodities. And we also know that rent also is something that is a big burden to the people. We cannot just continue talking about them without getting up to solve these problems, And also we are in election year, and as a peace and humanitarian organization, we are dedicated into going into advocacy again to engage the public, political parties as we have always done, and to advocate for peace, for a peaceful election.
Mr. Mendy called for proactive advocacy and a realistic approach in realizing their objectives of correcting the issues of high pricing of goods and services.
Because most often we have press conferences and seminars in hotels wherein we have air condition and we drink our cool water, eat, to talk about policy or talk about the people's problems, the people who are suffering there. So to us, I think it's high time we advocate for more proactive and realistic approaches, wherein we go onto the ground itself, so that we feel and we depict, so that the press conferences will actually depict the exact images of what is happening. And this is why we choose this location.
He went on to say that the uniqueness of their organization is that they believe in action and they don't just come up with issues and don't wait for funding.
You know, we believe in action. And we don't just come up with issues. We take our time, we look at things and analyze and know what is affecting the people and think of what we think we can do and go. And this is why we don't wait for finance. Look, if it was like people will do, some may be doing, we have to wait until there's finance before we start. We would have given up a long time ago. Individually, as an activist, I would have given up a long time ago because it's about 5 years today that I am consistent in what I do and that my team and I are consistent in what we do. Do you understand? Despite that we don't have funding. But we do what we believe we can do for the people.
The Public Relations Officer Luke Jata said they organized a seminar at the American Corner to engage the youths in thematic areas on peace-building processes, which he said is part of their efforts in promoting peace in the country.
A day before that, they organized a seminar at American Corner, precisely at Commune, where we engage the youth on thematic areas on peace-building processes because they are agent to it. They could be used as agent to trigger conflict, and they can also be used as agent to making sure that they also trigger what we call violence. We were able to have a very, very wonderful communication with them, and that has changed the sphere of youth when it comes to peace and development. That's why today we are here as an organization in order to be part of that advocacy, because we believe through advocacy that we are able to have a very accommodable environment as what we call sustainable peace, because that's our own interest. Because as I said, where there's peace, there's development. And
while stressing on the negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Secretary General of the organization, Fernando Ye, also said that these issues should be a collective concern to all and sundry.
So these things are of concern to each and every one of us. And in the worst of times, talk less of the COVID-19 pandemic, we are all affected in one way or the other. Think about the hiking prices of our commodities in our local markets. And if you think about your house rents, it's another thing. And also, the public transport, the system of our public transport also is something else, just to name a few. So these are some of the things that are a challenge. This is a big challenge. So we're trying as much as we possibly could to find out.
As the country ages closer to the December 4th elections, Hadijatu Sise, a member of the organization, called for a peaceful election and to avoid violence in the country during the voting period.
So what we want is a peaceful election in our country. As we know, the election is coming up in December, and as a youth, I am encouraging and I'm telling all the youths to come out and vote peacefully. Because most of us, we think that election is about violence and doing things that we want to do, what we feel like doing, because we want to advocate for what we want. But if you want to talk about something, you don't need to be loud about it or be aggressive about it. You should come out and do it peacefully so that our country will sustain peaceful election and we show the world that this is Gambia and we are the smart.
This organization was established in 2017 by James F. Mendy, aimed at peace building and ensuring the welfare of the people in the Gambia. For Star TV News, I am Adama Jang Jallo.
Well, those were the local stories. We'll be back with international news after the short break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulanding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding. Gash.
Sophie Milk ñu ngi fété juróom benn ati cafka bu dut dañ ñoo leen indil Jalika full cream milk powder neex saf sàpp te bari cafka pour di leen jërëjëfati si ni ngeen defee Sophie Milk seen favorite milk brand léegi mun ngeen a jëfandikoo empty Jalika milk sachets wala carton pour gagner ay xéewal yu riche pour gagner motorbike dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty carton yi Jalika milk pour gagner yeneen xéewal yu mel ni PlayStation 4 TV fridge freezer, gas cooker, bicycle wala mobile phone. dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty Jalika milk sachets def leen si biir enveloppe binda si sa tur ak sa téléphone number. mun ngeen koo yóbbu si bépp Jalika milk agent bu leen gën a jege. pour xam bi si raful yi dem leen Jalika milk Facebook page. Jalika milk mooy meew bu ees bu leen so fi indel gën a neex saf sàpp te riche.
South Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
Welcome back. Still the news. We now look at the news beyond our borders. Mali's military commander Assimi Goita has been sworn into office as the new interim president despite an international diplomatic backlash over his second power grab in 9 months. Goita dismissed civilian interim president Bandaut and Prime Minister Mokhtar Queen on May 24th, accusing them of failing to consult him about a cabinet reshuffle. He also named opposition leader and former minister Guel Maga as Prime Minister of the transitional government ahead of elections next February. Al Jazeera's Nicholas Haig reports from Bamako, Mali.
While the former president of Mali is held under house arrest, junta leader Assimi Goita, in full military regalia, is sworn in as Mali's new head of state in what critics call another bloodless coup. Outside the venue, special forces secure the area. The mood at the ceremony is somber and tense. There are no heads of state and few ambassadors. And some members of civil society shunned the ceremony, calling it a sham and illegitimate. In Goita's first public address since last month's coup, he sought to unite Malians and tell the world presidential elections will be held.
I would like to reassure the regional and international community in general that Mali will honor all of its commitments for and in the best interests of the nation.
Shortly after, a new prime minister was announced, Shogel Maiga from the civil society movement M5. The West African body ECOWAS and the African Union suspended Mali after the military took over and called for a return to a civilian-led transition. There's concern about how the instability in Mali will affect the security situation for the region. Armed groups operating from inside Mali are launching attacks in neighboring Niger and Burkina Faso, where more than 160 people were killed on Saturday. It's in this building where Assimi Goita was sworn in that in 2015, a peace accord was signed between the Malian state and armed groups. Now, many Malians fear that the agreement is now in jeopardy, fearing the security situation will deteriorate even further. France, with 5,000 troops in the Sahel's region, which includes Niger, Burkina Faso, Chad and Mali, has suspended military cooperation with the Malian army.
Armed groups will profit from this crisis. In this political instability, there's a vacuum of power and an absence of the state, which armed groups will try to fill, making it difficult for the peace agreement to stand.
ECOWAS's envoy, Goodluck Jonathan, is expected to meet Mali's new head of state, Assimi Goïta, on Tuesday. Goïta says there is an opportunity to drive Mali's transition towards the aspiration of the Malian people. It is a promise Malian leaders have made before, but have so far not fulfilled. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera, Bamako.
Thailand's mass vaccination rollout has begun after facing delays and criticisms for lack of transparency. The government is planning an ambitious campaign to counter the third and worst wave of COVID-19. Al Jazeera's Scott Hedler reports from Bangkok.
Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha leading the show launching Thailand's max COVID-19 vaccine rollout. It's a plan that has been heavily criticized for confusing and conflicting information. This while the country of 70 million is facing its worst wave of COVID-19 that arrived in early April. One focus of public frustration, the contract between AstraZeneca and the Thai firm Siam Bioscience for jab production, the backbone of the mass vaccine program. The firm is owned by Thailand's king, making it difficult for the government if anything goes wrong. The company's connection to the king makes it nearly untouchable.
Because it was a fix to begin with, the government's authority was constrained. If this were some other company, they could have gone after this company. Could have been more demanding for transparency, for details. They could have been punitive terms.
He went on to say that it's also a big gamble for AstraZeneca to sign a contract with Siam Bioscience, as its production is for the region, not just Thailand. And before this, the firm had no experience manufacturing a vaccine. An order to the Philippines has already been delayed and reduced. The government says they don't have a target number for this initial stage of the mass vaccine rollout, but they are aiming for 70% of the population by the end of the year.
We will try to give out as many vaccines as we can for this vaccine rollout. New vaccine batches will be delivered every few days.
But one goal that has been announced, 100 million jabs this year. Any hope of reaching that target hinges on a reliable and steady source of vaccines, which is not yet happening. The main opposition figure has been calling for more transparency in the vaccine plan. Some of his past comments about the king-owned Siam Bioscience, known as SBS, led to charges of royal defamation.
If we look back, what would happen if there is no Thai government, AstraZeneca and SBS deal? I believe that we would have got more vaccines from a more diverse sources, faster.
In the past several weeks, the government has realized the need to diversify its vaccine stocks, signing contracts with other major firms, Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer. But a critical issue remains. With much of the world scrambling for vaccines, it might take some time before imported jabs can make their way to Thailand. Scott Heidler, Al Jazeera, Bangkok.
On her first foreign trip as U.S. Vice President, Kamala Harris had a warning for those seeking to try to cross the border into the United States. Harris said people who attempt the journey will be turned back, while Guatemalan President Alejandro Giammattei said that the solution is increased economic opportunity, so migrants will choose to stay in their homeland. Al Jazeera's Kimley Halkett reports from Guatemala City.
In Guatemala's National Palace, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris issued a blunt message to Central American migrants looking to travel to the United States.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
Harris was tasked in March by President Joe Biden to help stem the record flow of migrants that have surged along the southern border of the United States and Mexico since he took office, a majority from Guatemala. Well, standing next to Harris in remarks to the press, Guatemalan President Alejandro Giammattei said the solution is increased economic opportunity, so migrants will choose to stay in their homeland.
People leave due to a lack of opportunities. The municipalities that are areas of greater migration coincide with the areas where poverty is greater, so we need to fight poverty.
But corruption is another challenge. The United States has given Guatemala more than $1.6 billion in aid over the past decade to fight economic instability and violence. But residents of this struggling neighborhood in Guatemala City say that money rarely reaches those that need it.
Guatemala is in an economic crisis. The country doesn't produce a lot of jobs, so the youth turn to violence.
The Biden administration has already committed to sending $310 million to the region. It's part of a $4 billion four-year plan to improve the economy in Central America. Still, other residents are skeptical Harris's diplomatic visit will result in any real change.
I feel it would be good if she came to visit us, to help the kids, to help my neighbors. We need the help here.
It's criticism Harris is also facing back in the United States. Republicans argue Harris needs to visit the U.S.-Mexico border to see the problem of migration firsthand. But Harris insists that's not necessary.
I came here to be here on the ground, to speak with the leader of this nation around what we can do in a way that is significant, is tangible, and has real results. And I will continue to be focused on that kind of work as opposed to grand gestures.
The surge of migrants from Central America to the United States is a problem that has been years in the making and will not be solved with just one meeting. That's why the U.S. Vice President on Tuesday will also be meeting with the President of Mexico as the leaders continue to collaborate and find a solution. Kimberly Helkett, Al Jazeera, Guatemala City.
Well, before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. The Gambia government signed several agreements with Guinea during President Barrow's visit, handing over ceremony of 50 tractors and implements from Japan. Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment empowers female automotive service providers. Organization of Peace and Humanitarian Assistance holds press briefing. In other news, Mali military leader sworn in as interim president. Thailand begins mass vaccination rollout. Harris message to migrants, do not come, do not come. That's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of the wonderful programs. Do join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching. Do have a wonderful night.